Not move and then edit it and then come back to it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Howdy, guys. Welcome to MACT Podcast. My name is Stephanie Chivera, and I'm your host, also Vice President of the organization. As an association, we are extremely excited to start this new project, which will bring a little more understanding on what we do, who we are, our history, and anything related to our association. I wanted to start this podcast by interviewing one of the most influential board members and most inspirational board members as well. So, Top Clark, do you mind
and
giving us
the oldest.
and
at
the
this point.
no? What are you talking about? You're
Most
the
experienced.
youngest.
Let's put it that
Every
way.
time we go somewhere, they card you. So I don't know what you mean. I don't
Yeah,
know what
right.
you mean by being
Right.
the oldest.
I haven't been carded in God, I don't know how many years, but anyway. Thanks, Stephanie.
Well, Top, give us your name. Tell us what you do with the organization, what your role is.
My name is Tom Clark. All my friends refer to me as Top. That's my nickname. So I can tell you where that comes from. It comes from my father being a E8 in the Army, and he was what they call a top kick.
Oh.
And I'm a junior, so they would call him Top Kick, and his friends would call me Top.
Okay.
So they just kind of stuck. And I also use it as my stage name when I performed. But I'm currently the president emeritus. And emeritus is kind of like an expert, Stephanie. An expert has been, and a spurt is under pressure. So I'm a has been under pressure.
Okay. Which there is a lot of pressure in the organization, in the association. A lot of people don't understand all the work that goes behind scenes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The board, the organization is very fortunate to have the board, and I'll tell you more about the board in a minute, but they're very fortunate to have the board because all the board members work for no compensation. They volunteer their time and their talents and their efforts for the organization and the members. So the organization is very lucky to have the board that it has, particularly right now. Very
Indeed. I feel like we are, we have a very good group of people right now,
Yes.
very well
Excellent group.
centered. A lot of chemistry between us too.
Yeah.
I have found a lot of friendship within these guys. I just had a memory popping on my phone on March 13. It was the day that I got voted into the association. So I've been in the board for a year already.
Wow.
And it feels like it's been a few months because
Yeah.
it's regardless of all the work that we do, the friendships and relationships that get forged and created within us, they're so deep because we all have the one common goal, which is to promote live music, to help musicians, to create an atmosphere where they can thrive.
Right.
And that's
exactly right.
That's our main goal. All right, Top. So tell us what MACT is. Tell the people what MACT is.
MAC is a professional organization. It's set up as a 501c3 business organization, which means it's a nonprofit. In other words, we don't seek to make profit for our activities, but we do seek to make money to help us do events and give awards and all the things that we do that require, having a little money to spend. And that's basically it. We are an association. We have as members musicians, of course, people that are associated with venues like sound engineers, lighting people, people that book acts into venues we have as members. So we try to get everyone involved in the local music scene involved, not just musicians, although granted there are most important members.
Mm-hmm. When was MACT founded and who was the founder?
MAC was actually the first meeting, which was an organizational meeting, was sometime before March of 1999.
Okay.
And the corporation the nonprofit was actually set up in March of 1999. The papers were filed with the state, and so it was set up in 1999. So this year, I'm really proud to say, is the 25th year
It is.
of our operation.
I know.
And I was president during the 20th, so I'm real happy to see another 5 years have gone by. That's great.
Yeah. For how long were you president? How long is the term? It's a 2-year term.
Well, it's supposed to be 3 years, but somehow I ended up being president about 4 years. I think from 2017 to 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the benefits of becoming an MACT member, and how does the association help their members?
Well, I think you hit on one thing. It's you really form a lot of friendships.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody about this today. As a musician, you kind of live kind of a lonely life, actually.
Yeah.
You're perfecting your craft, you're writing tunes, you're performing, you're moving equipment, and all the things that the musicians do behind the scenes before they actually get up on the stage and play.
Yeah.
So I found that it didn't leave a lot of time for, outside friendships and that. Of course, I was friends with everybody in the band that we had, but it's kind of a lonely life. And you don't actually get to interact with other musicians on a regular basis, mm-hmm. other than those you perform with. So it's real good from the standpoint of meeting new people, meeting musicians that work in this area, talking to them, find out what they're doing, find out about venues. So it's a very good place for information for the members. Also, members, we have events. Sometimes we charge for those, and members have access to those events free of charge. There's no charge for a member to go to a paying event that we have. We also provide members with a very good place to promote themselves on our Facebook pages and on our website. Our website is matx.org if you'd like to check it out.
MACT.
MACTX.org. That's right. Mm-hmm. Thanks for correcting my spelling on that. But anyway, we have a website and we have a Facebook page where we keep members informed about the activities and things going on with the organization. Members can also, we're working on a program now which I think is really going to be a benefit for members, and that's to get retail discounts.
Oh.
We're working on James Stone, our president at this time. We're working, and I are working on getting retailers set up to give members a benefit of a discount, mm-hmm. and we can always all save money. That's something we try to do, especially these days. So we're approaching music shops, things of that nature, to get them to allow our members to get a discount. And we'll have stickers on each one of those organizations or those retailer outlets that show, MACT members discounts inside, so they can get discounts. And what else have I not touched on? We also have another big benefit for our members is something that we started in the last couple of years, and that's our music fest. Yeah, which is great.
Yes.
I had the great honor of setting up a couple here in Waco in the past, and we're now having that pretty much in Salado every year in November. Mm-hmm. And we have an arts and music fest. We have vendors that sell their wares, and then we also have musicians performing. And just as of the last festival, we were able to begin compensating musicians. We weren't asking them to play for free. Nobody likes to do that, really.
Right.
I mean, you're a working musician to make money.
Indeed.
And so we just started paying the musicians that perform at the festival. Excuse me. And we do give preference to members for those slots at our festival. So members also get preferential treatment as far as being in our events and playing in our events.
And it's all just for a very affordable price, which is $30 for a individual membership, and then $20 if you're a student, and then $60 if you are a venue. Which
if you're a venue or a band, you can have up to 4 members in the band.
That's right. So you
$60.
get so if you have 4 4 people in your band, you're already getting a $20 discount in there.
Exactly.
Which I became a member back in 2009, 18, 19. And that was one of the things that I benefited from the most, the networking, getting to know a lot of people. I got to meet Chris Harmonian and Monica Shannon, and they knew this person. So whenever their person, oh, I need somebody, a solo acoustic, person to come and play. And it's a ripple effect,
Exactly.
It's very beneficial, and it also looks great on your resume. Just
Yeah.
throwing it out
Just
there.
think of this. In all the professions, there is one or more professional organizations that you can be a member of. And it really gives credence and credibility to you as a professional if you're a member of a professional organization. And that's another benefit. If you're a member of MACT, you can let people know that. And a lot of times it'll open doors for you.
Yeah.
It'll open doors for you,
Indeed.
getting the venues to play. So
Yep.
that's another benefit.
I love it. All right. Todd, what has been one of the most challenging trials that the organization has gone through?
Well, there's always challenges when you're running an organization like this. But I think the biggest challenge, at least while I was president and running the organization, was COVID.
Mm.
COVID was devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody playing music for a living, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no place to play. If you had to play, you had to wear a mask, and all that stuff was going on. People weren't going out. People weren't spending their money outside the house.
Yeah.
People were all locked up inside their safe houses, avoiding
Yeah.
going out. And me particularly, I was also locked up because I was recuperating from an illness, dealing with an illness. But that was the challenging thing, because it kind of stopped all our activities, our monthly meetings, the Groovy Awards, which I'll talk about in a minute. Any kind of event that we wanted to have was pretty much shut down. We couldn't do it. And fortunately, there were a lot of administrative things that we needed to tend to that had been kind of neglected over the years, and we were able to redo the bylaws of the corporation, which I thought was real important, get all of that updated for today's organization. So I'd have to say that COVID, Stephanie, was the worst thing that happened to the music scene,
Yeah.
at least in my tenure as president.
I agree. And not just the musicians, but also a lot of venues got shut down
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
The Waco Winery downtown got shut down. There was, I can't think of any other one from the top of my head, but I know that there's a lot of them
Yeah.
that had to close down, and therefore it hurt musicians' pocket.
Absolutely.
It's not cheap being a musician either.
No.
So in order for us to maintain that career and the line of work, we have to continue to buy cables and to buy strings and to buy equipment. And unfortunately, equipment is not cheap
Nope.
at all. It's probably one of the most expensive
about it. It's
hobbies
cheap.
out there. So it was very devastating. But now seeing how many new venues have opened and how things have come on the other side.
It's
of the
bounced
coin.
back, and it's bounced back for the good.
Yep.
But it was hard on venues and put a lot of pressure on them to continue operating. And like you say, a lot of them didn't make it.
Yeah.
They
It was
didn't make
very it was very sad. Well, there's always a bad side and there is a good side. What has been one of the most rewarding things that you have experienced as a board member and president of the association?
Well, actually, there's two or three. One of the best things I was involved with was the last Groovy Awards that we had, and that's been a while. But that was an awesome experience. Just to set up the Groovies and get the awards. All the people figured out who's going to get the awards, and actually putting on the show. I wrote the show, and I had a lot of help from a lot of great people, and it was just a great night. One of the best nights of my life.
That's awesome.
That we had the Groovies, and I think it was May of 2018.
And that's every year before pandemic?
Yeah, we had that every year before the pandemic, and it started in 2001.
Oh wow.
Was actually the first Groovy award show. So you know we've had that regularly. Of course, COVID kind of broke that all down. We couldn't do it those years, and we've been leaning more towards having events to put all musicians out there and get them exposure. But I think we're going to, you know, there's going to be some things going on here soon that will kind of be in the tradition of the Groovies.
There is a lot of very good projects in our pockets right now.
Yeah.
We have their singer-songwriter competition, which is coming in August 17. I think
Right.
it's the third Monday of August. And then we have also the podcast. Groovy Awards are starting up again. So it's also one of the benefits that you guys could benefit from being a member. You know,
Absolutely.
so, and again, it looks beautiful on your resume,
Yeah.
on your music.
Let
resume.
me finish my good things. 'Cause I think we should talk about good things. There were some bad things that happened, but most all of it was good. But there are bad aspects to it too. But I like to stress the good. And another good thing was putting on the festivals in downtown Waco. We had one where we had 5 venues actually participating. There was nonstop music there all day from about 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock in all those venues. And there was a wide variety of bands. We had a great sound system. So, you know, the sound was excellent in all the venues. We had good sound systems, so that was great. And we had, you know, just a good mixture of talent from the local area. Now, that was precipitated for me. I remember one of the first time, way back when I came to Waco, which is, you know, it's been a few years. Way back when I came to Waco, they had a festival downtown. And I never will forget how cool I thought that was. It was on Austin Avenue, and it was kind of right in the middle of the street of Austin Avenue that had a stage set up. And I'll just never forget that. But they didn't have anything like that after that. That was it. And, you know, they have bands at the Heart of Texas Fair and all that good stuff. But they didn't have an outdoor festival really here, you know, in town. And so I was really pleased. That was a real good experience for me, you know, helping guys get that set up and putting that on and have it be a success. And once again, it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people involved in putting that on. And the third thing and the last thing I'd like to mention is just working with some of the people I've worked with on the board. I mean, not everybody that comes on the board of directors is going to be a good director. I mean, you know, because you are volunteering your time. You've got to give up some time with your family, friends, band, whatever. You're not going to get paid for it. It's thankless. Nobody's coming up to you and thanking you for doing it all the time. But the people that I've worked with have been real cooperative. Majority have been cooperative. They've been dedicated, and they've been hardworking. And I couldn't ask for more than that. I've been very blessed. That's been one of the best experiences.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I really believe that if there, you know, this world, it's so messed up right now. But I know that there's one thing that we all have in common is that we all love music.
Mm-hmm.
I have not met one person, and I really knock on wood. Hopefully, I never meet that one person that does not like music. Because I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
I don't think they're out there.
I don't really think so. But, okay. What has been one of the best learning experiences that you have had in the association, Tom?
Learning experiences. I guess the best learning experience, I got into MACT. My wife and I both got into it when we were starting out a band. And it just acquainted me with all, you know, the ins and outs of the music business, you know, talking to the people, how they got gigs, you know, how they perform, how they set up, all those things. were very foreign to me because I'd been a musician, but not a performing musician. I basically sat in my bedroom and played my guitar and tried to write songs, which I'm still trying to do. But, I never performed live, so that was all very new to me. And fortunately, there were several people that clued me into things that really helped me out. So the learning experience about that, that was the best thing for me, being involved with MACT then at that time.
I love it.
Just a member. I was a member at that point, so.
I love it. So recently we relocated our Hall of Recognition from the Waco Hippodrome to the new location of the Texas Music Cafe. So also thank you to the Turner families, and then thank you to Chris Harmonian, who has opened the doors to the new location of Texas Music Cafe. I believe it's right off of Austin and Franklin on
6th Street, I think.
6th Street?
Yeah.
It is on 6th Street.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
6th Street. So,
and by the way, I just talked to give a plug to TMC because they are hosting the Hall of Recognition. We're going to be in the future having meetings at TMC, member meetings.
I think the April one, it's going to be there.
Well, I just found out. I just talked to a friend of mine who's been working on the renovation. He's done about, he claims 85% of the work, but and knowing him, he probably has.
I think everybody claims 85% of the work.
Yeah, but he said to me yesterday on the phone that they were probably going to be open. They had a show booked for April the 5th, but at this point in time, they weren't sure if they were going to be ready or not. So it's kind of hanging in the air exactly when they're going to be opening up. But it will be sometime next month. So TMC has been very good to MACT. They've allowed us to have meetings at the thing and have events. They're also, just a big promoter of live music here in
They're
Central
amazing.
Texas. And they've been doing that for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Harmonian has been very good for the music scene here. And Chris, I miss you. I know you're busy with TMC, but I miss you from being on the board. Okay, buddy.
I got to see him. Me and James Stone were up there, I believe, 2 Mondays ago, and we got to talk to him. So it's always very nice to see Chris Harmonian. For me, Chris Harmonian has been kind of a role model and a good example to follow and a good example to have as to what happens when you actually put in the work to make things happen.
Yeah,
he works very hard.
He's a hard charger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he likes to do those things and he gets them done.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk about the Hall of Recognition.
Yes. So going back to our main topic, we both went squirrel.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Absolutely.
So how was the idea? How did the idea of the Hall of Recognition started, and what was the main goal of it?
Well, I went straight to the horse's mouth, and I think we kind of skipped over this earlier about MACT being founded. MACT was pretty much the brainchild of Johnny Bradshaw. And Johnny Bradshaw has been a musician here in this area for 30, 40 years. I mean, a long time. And he initially had the idea, and with the help of another group, core group of musicians, and all their names I can't remember, but I certainly remember Johnny's. But can't forget Johnny. But anyway, I call him the paterfamilias. That's the founder of the Feast. That's the guy that started it all back in 2001. And I really didn't know where the idea for the Hall of Recognition came from, so I called Johnny today, and I asked him, and he said, "Well, it was my idea. I wanted some way to recognize, outstanding musical talent." That they'd made contributions either nationally or statewide or locally, through a lifetime of work in the music scene. And he said I was going to call it the Hall of Fame, but he said, there's a lot of Hall of Fames, so we didn't really want to go with that, so we changed it to the Hall of Recognition. And basically what it is each year we recognize musicians from this area, whether they perform in this area or not. I mean, they could be performing nationwide, Believe it or not, we have a lot of people that live in Waco that perform nationally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're with big name bands and they perform.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play around here, and also statewide and locally. And Johnny wanted to recognize them for their contributions to music. So it started out in 2001, the same year as the Groovies. They had the first Hall of Recs, and I believe it was Sherman Edwins, Doug Coates, and the other guy's name I can't remember, but there were three of them that were inducted. It just happens Doug Coates, although I never met the guy. I was married to his daughter for a while, but he's in the Hall of Rec. So, you know, we have tried to recognize people, you know, posthumously and also living that have made that contribution to live music, either, you know, like I say, nationally, statewide, or here locally. And there's some famous people in there. I mean, like Willie Nelson, Pat Green.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's too many of them for me to name, but it's a very eclectic, interesting group of talented people.
Yes, you have Tony Cajon in there as well.
Tony Calhoun, yeah.
And then you also have Mr. Ballou.
Yeah.
You have Way Bowen in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I was, when we were moving them, I was like, oh, wow. It was a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is awesome. I love it.
Very talented people.
Sure is. All right. Enough about the serious stuff. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Are we going to dance or what?
Oh, break dance.
Break dance. Oh,
Break
God.
dance.
That would
Yes.
kill me. I swear Steph, that would kill me.
Gonna do a headstand.
A headstand?
Yes.
Spin? Can I spin on my back?
Sure, that works with me.
Ain't going to happen.
All right, Top, where are you from?
Actually, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. And the reason I was born in Atlanta was my father was stationed at Fort McPherson in Atlanta when he met my mother. They got married, and a year or so later, I was born. So really, I'm from Atlanta, but you know, I don't consider that my hometown or anything like that.
Gotcha. When was the last time you went up there?
Atlanta? Man, I couldn't even tell you the last. I guess really when my father, we came back to the States in 1964, 63, something like that, for my dad's last tour of duty overseas. He was in the military. And we came back from his last tour of duty overseas in 1963, and we went through Atlanta and saw my mother's family is all there, the ones that are left. And so I guess it was 1963. Like I say, I never go to Atlanta. I have no reason to go.
Yeah. No? Why would you go up there?
Yeah, really.
Where's your history as a musician, Todd? When did you start playing? What made you walk this path?
Well, I actually have always been interested in music. I've always loved music. You know, I was in the choir in high school, and I wasn't in band or anything like that, but when I was about 12 or 13, my parents bought me an old K guitar from Sears and Roebuck. You know, it was one of those hard string things that literally made your fingers bleed. And I tried that. You know, I began playing guitar, although I've never considered myself a real good guitar player. You know, I play pretty good rhythm, and I can hold that down well. But you know, I started when I was about 13 or 14, and I didn't ever really perform professionally until I married my lovely wife, Tamara. And Tamara is a musician, a great musician. She writes songs, she sings, she plays guitar, and you know, we really wanted to have a band together. So that's the first time I got involved professionally with music, and that's been 2007 maybe.
Pretty girls make you do crazy good
yeah,
things.
They really do. What we do for love, huh?
Which Tamara is sitting right behind over here with
Tamara's
us.
sitting in the corner.
She's keeping us company.
Yeah,
she's our chaperon.
Yeah, she's our chaperone. Yeah. You know what happens if we
might
hear
miss,
along,
yeah,
be
we're breaking some guitars,
Really.
causing some chaos.
So that was my wife actually led me down the path of performing live, and I enjoyed everything about it. The only thing I didn't like about it was anything that had to do with not being up on stage performing. You know, the rest of it, moving equipment and booking gigs and, dealing with the personalities in the band, because I was kind of the quasi-leader of the group, and Tamara would argue about that. But anyway,
gathering,
all that other stuff.
It's crazy.
Was hard for me to deal with, and I didn't particularly like any of that. I liked performing and, doing that thing, but all the rest of it, I was never a big fan of.
It's not a walk in the park being a musician. We actually are subject to a lot of rejection. And I was actually talking to my mother about that the other day. I was just telling her how from every 100 emails that you send, you get 10 back. And sometimes not even 10 back. Sometimes you get 5 back. But the one thing that I have heard before is it's not about how many doors open. It's about which ones open.
Yeah, exactly right.
So if you don't book a gig in 2 years, but then somebody comes across your recording and Sony calls you for a $5 million record deal, well, look at that. I mean, which door opened?
Yeah, really. Yeah, there is a lot of rejection in being a musician, particularly when it comes to get gigs and that sort of stuff. And finding your audience, that's another difficult task. But, it's like I say, it's all worth it once you get on stage start playing.
And it's also not a walk in the park to gather musicians. It's like gathering cats and dogs.
Yeah,
especially drummers.
Cats.
I don't know what it is about drummers that it's like. I have had very poor luck with drummers.
Yeah, well.
It's like, or maybe they just don't like me. I don't know what it is, but awesome. So, who has been the biggest music influence in your life besides Tamara?
Of course, Tamara's been a big influence, but when I grew up, I was living a lot of my life in Europe. And there is a little country there called Luxembourg. And Luxembourg has what's called Radio Luxembourg. And what they do is they play popular music of the day. And so when I was about, 11 years old, I started hearing, before I ever heard any American popular music, I was clued into the English scene. The Beatles, the Stones, the Who, Led Zeppelin. All those bands have been a real big influence on me. But I'd have to say, the musician that I admire the most, was actually two of them. But my biggest favorites are John Lennon and George Harrison. Lennon was kind of an ass. He could be an ass, but very ascorbic type of personality. But Lennon inspired me to learn how to play harmonica. When I saw him playing harmonica, and of course George Harrison, great guitarist. I think he was totally underrated. Yeah. But those are the kind of musicians that inspired me back then in the early '60s.
Did you hear about John Lennon's airport having all of their flights canceled?
John Lennon's airport.
Yeah, imagine all the people. I just read that and I had to really
That's
throw
a good
it
one,
out
Steph.
there.
That's a good one. Imagine all the people.
It was perfect. It's just like, I just read this like 3 days ago and I'm I'm never going to be able to crack this joke anywhere. And look at this.
Yeah. I got stuck in Chicago O'Hare one time. So it was people packed.
Yeah, imagine all the people.
That's crazy. Chicago O'Hare. So mainly the English groups, and then when we got back to the United States, I heard others, but I'd have to say the English music scene was my big inspiration, particularly the Beatles.
I love it.
Yeah.
What is the most rewarding? What do you love the most about playing music, Tom?
Well, like I said earlier, the only thing I really like about playing music is when you're up on stage performing and you're connecting with the audience. They're digging what you're doing. They like your music. all the band is performing up to snuff, and everybody's having a good time. That's the thing that does it for me. About playing professionally is just being up there and having people appreciate what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
It's not always that way,
Yeah.
But when the audience is with you and the band's hitting on all cylinders, that's the thing I like the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'd rather have a smile than a $5 bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Than somebody with their head buried
Oh
in
my
their
God.
cell phone.
God bless her heart.
Cell phones are going to kill live music. I mean, jeez.
They're already on their
Why
way.
pay a cover charge to come hear a band than sit on your phone? I never understood that.
There's actually a lot of artists right now that they are requiring, as people walking into their concerts, they have this special pouches
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
put your phone in, and you cannot get it open until
Yeah,
you leave.
Bob Dylan does that. That's one of the
Which
bands
I'm
that do
like, you
that.
know what? It's a very good idea. I know Kevin
Uh-huh.
Hart does it, which he's a comedian, but
Yeah.
I mean, this strategy that they're using, it's beautiful because a lot of people are actually becoming desensitized of the actual real life.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I came to conclusion about with myself when my usage of cell phone during experiences like that is that how many times are you going to go back and really look at those videos? You're not. You're hardly ever going to do that. I got to see Journey 3 years ago with my mother, and I recorded some videos, and I think I barely just went back and looked at them.
Yeah.
And I think it's more important to create that core memory within your body
Absolutely.
than to
Absolutely.
record that video to just show up with your friends or anything.
Right.
It's cell phone usage is killing all performers.
Yeah. It's not a good thing
No.
for the scene at
Get
all.
off your phone.
Put it up.
Don't be disrespectful.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
What is the best memory that you have as a musician, Top?
The best memory I have as a musician is probably the first time that the band that Tamara and I set up performed. I mean, it would just it had been a lot of work to get to that point, and so it was finally, it was nice to finally be up there doing what we rehearsed for weeks and weeks. That was probably the best thing, and I remember that night quite well. That was my best memory.
I
Yeah.
love it. It's been very fun.
Yeah, we made it fun, didn't we?
Yeah, but we're not done yet.
Oh, we're not. Okay,
No.
what are we gonna do now? Have dessert?
Because I have a secret segment for you
A
that you
secret
did not
segment.
know about this.
Okay,
Because
all
I'm
right.
doing this with everybody.
All right,
So
catch me off guard here.
here it is. I'm going to throw 10 questions at you, quick. You're going to answer and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. You cannot take back your answers.
Okay,
So I'm going to give you, for example, do you
sounds
prefer...
dangerous.
It's very dangerous. So I'm going to tell you, this is an example. Purple and pink. So you have to choose one. But you can't take...
Oh.
What comes out of your mouth first, that's what you're sticking with.
Okay, so it's a multiple choice kind of thing.
No.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just one or the other. That's
All right.
it.
One or the other.
One or the other, and then there's one that it's kind of like an answer,
Okay,
like a one
I like
single
this.
answer.
This will be fun.
It is gonna be fun.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah,
Fender or Gibson?
Fender,
Best brand of strings?
Diodario,
Carlos Santana or Slash?
Carlos Santana,
Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix?
Hendrix,
Favorite amp brand?
Fender,
Shiner or Lone Star?
Shiner or beer.
Yes.
I don't drink beer, so, but I have been to the Shiner plant,
There you go. So,
so I
get
say
Shiner.
Shiner, I guess.
All right. Well, the next one's for you then, since you don't drink. Big Red or Dr. Pepper?
I'd have to go with Big Red.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Whataburger.
Favorite guitar solo of all times?
It'd have to be Comfortably Numb
Okay.
by David Gilmour. That's it for me. That's a great solo.
And then the last one, if you could bring one musician back that is not with us anymore, who would it be?
Wow. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Mm,
I'd like to shake it off.
Yeah. Which musician would I bring back to life that's no longer with us? I'd have to say probably George Harrison.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah. That's what I'd say. I really regretted that I never met him. In fact, I had a dream that I went to a party and he was there, and that was wild. We had great conversations. I mean, he was just the coolest dude, and had so much fun talking with him. But anyway, yeah, George Harrison. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Top, we did it.
we did.
That's episode 1.
It's episode 1.
We did it.
So I lost my cherry as far as podcasts go. I've done,
Really?
my age. I've done just about everything.
So I popped your cherry.
Yes. So yeah. So this is my first time being on a podcast.
I love it.
It was awesome. It's
Top.
really good thing.
Personally, from me to you, you have been a wonderful role model. The
See,
support
I'm sorry.
the support that you give the live music has obviously made an impact for all of us and for younger generations.
Great. Great.
I always, before I even became a member, I always looked up to you guys. I always saw the impact and the positive ripple effect that you guys have been working to have into this community.
Great.
And it has been a pleasure. It is a very humbling and wonderful experience to be on the board with you guys and to learn from you guys, because
Well, I think-
that's what I take.
Yeah,
as.
you've been a tremendous addition to the board, Stephanie. You have done some things already that are new to the organization, and you always have good ideas about things that we can do, and you follow through. When you say you're going to do something, and not a lot of people do that. It's easy to say, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, but not many people follow through on that, and you do. So I think the organization is blessed to have you with us.
Boy, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah. I hear you.
It really keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I
That's
love
good.
it. Is there anything you want to say to the people listening or watching this, Top?
I just encourage you, if you are a musician and you want to be part of something bigger than yourself, which is always a positive experience, particularly if you join MACT. Join MACT. Become a member. It's very inexpensive, $30 a year. My guy, that's what, $250 a month. We came by Starbucks on the way over here, and Tamara brought a coffee, and it was $7.
Yeah.
I mean, my guy. So $250 a month to join is nothing, and there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
So the more members we have, the more positive, uplifting things we're going to be able to do for the live music scene. So I would tell everybody to join MACT.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Top.
You're welcome, Stephanie.
Guys, make sure that you listen, subscribe, like, and share on all your platforms, YouTube, iHeart, Spotify, Apple iTunes. And if you want to join us, make sure that you you go to mactx.org for $30 or $60 or $20. You can be really helping your music career. We're also gonna have workshops starting this year, so that will be another incentive that we're gonna be able to provide for our members. So if you don't know how to put an EP together, if you don't know how to hook a microphone to a mixing board that goes to the computer, we can teach you how to do all those things. If you don't know how to network with venues, we can teach you how to do all those things, because that's what we're here for. It is a new era. It is a new time at MACT. Whatever happened in the past has stayed in the past, and we're here to make a positive new change and to provide with new and a lot of opportunities for all our musician friends.
Great. That's great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you on episode 2.
Keep on rocking out there.
Bye. We did it.
We did it. Hope I was okay.
That was fun. Don't you think?
Yeah.